So as always, where I love to start is the front of the unit, because this beautiful aerodynamic, regularly built unit looks great going down the road. So as we look at the bottom of it, we have these downward angles and these backwards off to the side angles. Those are done by design. These are designed to act as rock deflectors. So instead of having rocks kicking up, and maybe if you have like a flat surface trailer or a curved surface trailer, rocks aren't hitting, maybe coming back and hitting your vehicle or whatever, this design is meant to have it deflected downwards or off away. So if you're kicking up rocks, you don't have to worry about that. And as always, this is made of tough, durable diamond plate with a European cut. So that way it helps to resist getting rocks hitting all of it and breaking it and causing any other damage, like maybe you might have with fiberglass or something. As you climb up a little bit higher, then you run into our aluminum composite. This silver area is our aluminum composite. So you have a sheet of aluminum, a section of composite material, and then another sheet of aluminum. So that way you have that strength, you have that rigidity, but you also have that lightweight capability. So that way we can put our weight into our suspension and other areas. So we want to keep our unit lightweight. As we travel up, we have our marker lights. And then of course, as always, we have our LED floodlights. We have our LED floodlights on the front, on the rear, and on the sides of our unit. Now, as they come down a little bit, we have our doors. Now, some of you may recall, or maybe you've seen it in the past, where our locks, or our hinges here, were actually locks. Well, now, as you can see, there are no more locks on this. Now, this is the propane compartment as we open it up. And so because of fire regulations, it has to be accessible to the fire department. So that's why these two front compartments don't have locks on them now. So that way they are accessible by the fire department. So as you look in here, we have two of our, was it 16.6 pound or 20 pound containers. They're fitting in there. We have our flip switch for it. We also have another shut off here for our propane. And then we have plenty of ventilation in the compartment as well. We have openings in the bottom so that way it can vent out, as well as a vent tube that's there in the corner. That's one of the newer things here within our 2020 models. So in our other compartment over here, we actually, now like in most units, they will actually have a bracket for 2 jerry cans. But we don't have that in the 15, the HQ15, because we actually have our bracket for the jerry cans on the rear of the unit with our spare tire bracket. So here you have full use of this compartment for whatever you want to put in here, whatever you want to use for as a storage compartment. But again, this unit is not locked, okay? So as we come down here onto our drawbar, we have our emergency handbrakes. We have a mechanical handbrake. So that way when you're disconnecting, you can pull your handbrake on, disconnect. You don't have to worry about it going anywhere. You should still utilize wheel chocks. When you are parked, you are doing your camping. At least this way it makes it nice for a very simple ability to stop your vehicle from rolling. We also have 2 cables. We have our 7-pin. That's for our lighting, for our turn signals, for all that. This is going to plug into your vehicle. And then we have the Anderson plug. Now the Anderson plug is going to be used for if you purchase a secondary solar panel system, say from Black Series, and it utilizes an Anderson plug. This is a 50 amp plug, and this will go to your battery and will charge your batteries. Now we do have solar panels up on the roof. There are 2 solar panels, 150 watts apiece, 300 watts, but this allows you to add 1 more solar panel. So here also on the drawbar is our junction box. So we have power fed into it. This is where we have all of our wires coming in, creating a junction and traveling off into the unit. We have our breakaway switch. Here's our key. So the key would be pulled out. If the unit breaks away, this would set the brakes, set it in place. That way it won't keep rolling. And then we have our hitch, our poly block. Okay, this one holds 12,000 pounds. And then there's a spring. There's a very large spring in here that helps to allow it, if you're off-roading, the unit will actually kind of bump into it, and the spring will actually help support that weight rather than slamming hard into your vehicle. And then we have our Y. So the Y would take place of the ball. So you would take your hitch, remove the ball if you had a ball. This would bolt onto it. And then by use of this with the pin would slide over this. This pin would go through. This allows your up-down movement, your right-to-left movement, and then this entire knuckle will rotate 360 degrees. And that's how you're able to go off-road into those extremes that you can get in off-roading with a Black Series unit. So the last few things here on the front is obviously our heavy duty recovery chain. So this way, what you're doing when you're hooked up, you're gonna crisscross these two chains and you're gonna hook it up to the rest of the receiver on your truck or your towing vehicle. So that way, these also help if the unit breaks loose and something happens with this, the chains are what's gonna hold it. That's what's gonna catch it. So that's way, it's really nice. We have a nice heavy duty, thick chain held in place. And then as we come back with a little bit, we also see our jockey wheel, okay? Our XO750 model jockey wheel. Remember, there's also that line of demarcation I've talked about before. If you haven't seen it on our video, make sure you look into our video library and see the video I put out on our jockey wheel that explains how that works and the line of demarcation. So we're gonna keep moving along here on our HQ15. As you can see, as always, we have our rock guards. So if you're hitting into those deep valleys and grooves and stuff, this is gonna be your sliding on the rocks. So that way you're not digging up and chewing up this edge right here. This rock guard is gonna protect you and keep you from, again, burying the side of your unit into the dirt, rocks, whatever it may be. And then you have our legs. We have our stabilizer legs. Okay, we have those here. So those are gonna be raised down in place to keep our unit stable and level. And then we come up, we have our first compartment. Now our first compartment is going to be a pass-through compartment. So we have, you can see it passes through to the other side over there. And you can even see there's a light in there, an LED light. So that way it helps light it up, so it makes it easier for you to find whatever things or piece of equipment or a chair or whatever you're looking for in the middle of the night. And then even here in the front of the compartment is a level, little bubble level. So that way you already have one in the unit. Say you forget to bring one or you're good with that one, you already have a bubble level in there. As we come back, our next compartment is gonna be our kitchen. So we're gonna lower this down. So our kitchen here, that has a latch, right? Pull this. Now there's a small prep table here, as I bring it out here. But more importantly, there's an even larger prep table here, okay? So I'm gonna open that up. Remember, there's these little flaps right here. You wanna make sure those are nice and straight on here. So we have our prep table. It could be a serving table. Heck, it could even be an eating table. So you can prep your food here, cook your food, and then decide, you know what, hey, let's get a couple stools. Let's eat out here as well. So that way you don't have to go sit inside. You can sit outside on a beautiful day having whatever meal you just prepared. Now, right now, just so you are aware, there is actually a support leg that will go underneath here. Now, I'm not setting it because I'm just talking about it, but there is a support leg. I'll even show you real quick the support leg. So this one's still wrapped up. It's still really wrapped up. So here's the support leg. So this is a magnetic leg. There's a magnet here that will attach. Here's the clip to release it. This will extend down, and then you have an extension. So that way you'll keep your kitchen nice and level. Okay, I'm gonna put that back in there. Now, with the kitchen has a 3-burner stove, okay? So you have to push them, to set them, to get them to turn on. Has an electric start for these. Now with the electric start, you do have to plug into the unit so that way you have the battery power. Now, the older models used to have a rubber grommet around in here, so you would plug it in on the outside. Well, with the newer units, that rubber grommet has been moved to inside, so it's here. So this cable would pull out the front of the kitchen and it would plug in right there. So that way it's protected, it's not outside. And now we've gotten rid of any extra openings that we don't really want to have, okay? So with our kitchen, we have a nice little sink coverage area for a prep area, cleaning, put dirty dishes, clean dishes, whatever you want to put. You have your sink. The sink is a gravity sink. What that means is it's not tied into your black or gray tanks. Obviously it would be your gray tank. So what there is, there's an opening, there's a hose that would come out the bottom here. And so that hose, you would just take a bucket, set a bucket underneath, catch your gray water, and then what you would do is you would dispose of your gray water accordingly, however you need to do it. Now, to get gas into your stove, you need to get out the gas line. Now, if you look over here out the back, you see this black hose. Now, this is the gas line. Now, the gas line, I would pull out the bottom hole over here the same way. And then there is a gas connection over here underneath. So as you come around, if you look, you see two connections. This is the gas connection, and then this is the water connection. So again, you have the two connections. So the water connection is going to be a blue hose, and that hose is going to attach to the front right here of the kitchen. It's going to come out. You can tuck it through here or tuck it under here, whichever way you want to do. But it's going to come down and plug into that other connection on the other side. And usually, this is where it's usually stored. Here is your water line connection. So what you would do is you would plug into the sink side first, your dry side. Because if you plug into the unit side first, you can start shooting water all over the place, unless that's what you want to do, but you're going to be wasting some of your water, unless you're shooting water on your kids or whoever you're shooting water on, okay? So that's the kitchen. So now we're going to move on and look at some of the other stuff. So as we continue on, if we move up the unit a little bit, we have speakers. We have two marine grade outside speakers. We got one here. We have one over at the other end. As we go up a little bit, we see another spotlight. Again, another LED, nice bright LED spotlight. And as we go a little bit higher, we have our mechanical awning. Okay, so we run that out. It's about an 8-foot wide awning or so. Comes out from the side of the unit. If you look back a little bit, you see that little antenna up there? That is our radio antenna. So you have a radio inside, so that way that's going to be your antenna. But as you come down the wall here, we see we have our dual pane windows. These are Eurovision dual pane windows. They actually ratchet open in different positions. So that way they also include, because of the dual pane, that's going to help our R factor, which is our insulation factor. We have an R16 insulation factor. So the dual pane helps. So if you have cold on the outside and it's hot on the inside, you got this space in between, so it's not a direct connection. So you're able to maintain more of a warm environment or a cooler environment inside the unit. As we come a little bit, we have our solar panel light right here. Not a solar panel light, but our solar light. It's a security light. Now this one doesn't have an on-off switch. Some do have an on-off switch, but what happens is obviously it gathers sunlight, and then flipped on really quick here. Now it's not going to do it again. But when it's nighttime, the light comes on. This little white dot right here, that is a motion sensor. So this is actually the brightest setting. When it's just normal, without movement, it's much dimmer. It's a less dimmer or bright light. As you come closer, the motion sensor senses you, and then it gets bright to this point right here, okay? So as you come along, we have a handle to help ourselves get in the door. We have our door right here with our window. We got our air vent to it. We have our stairs. So we're just kind of moving along here. We have an outdoor table. Now they also talked about this as being potentially also another prep table. So if you want to stand here and do prep, you could do that. Or this could be, they have like a couple little cup holder areas right here. So you can put some drinks here. Or maybe, you know, if you're cooking something with a crock pot, you're plugged in somewhere, you have your ground fault current interrupter plug here. So you can plug in like a crock pot, maybe set that here, have dinner cooking throughout the day. You have a 12-volt plug, 12 volt, so like a cigarette lighter style plug right here. And then you also have this metal clip. This is one of the new things too that's going along with our doors. So look real quick at the door. So if you open up this door, it has this ring right here, and this ring is gonna hook on this holder. The holders used to be made of plastic. Now it's a much more durable metal, and that holds a whole lot better than the previous ones. But this is just a table, like I said, it's a nice little flat table you can use. Now, sometimes people say, well, how's this close? All you do is you close it up, and then it's got two locks. So you use your key and you lock this back up. Otherwise, I just have this closed up right now, just for purposes of viewing. Tires, we have our Falcon tires on this unit. These tires have a sidewall rating of 10 ply. So it's a nice, strong, durable sidewall. So it helps with keeping the unit steady where you're going down the road. Nice durability and reliability when you're in those off-road areas. As we come around to the back, I'm going to stay here on the side a little bit so you can see, here is our jerry can holder. Here's jerry can holder number 1. There's a jerry can holder number 2 on the other side. Now, the HQ15 is the only unit that utilizes the rear jerry can holders and storage rack. None of the other units, not the HQ15, or not the HQ12, the HQ17 or the HQ19 utilize this rack. It just has the spare tire rack. The HQ15 is the only one that has the storage rack with the jerry cans. So also here, you can also see we utilize our LED triple lights here. We have our stop lights, we have our turn signals, and we have our reverse lights. Nice bright reverse lights when you're backing up. And then also if you look up here on the back, so we have our 2 spares, but we also have our floodlights. Again, we have a nice big LED floodlight bar up on the top there. And as you come down, like I said, you have 2 full-size spare tires hanging off the rear. Because when you're off-road, yeah, you might get a flat tire, but you still got to get out from where you are. So it's always nice to have another spare just in case. So as we come back here, if we step back a little bit, and we can take a look underneath. Now underneath, you can see we have our sewer connection. So our gray tank and our black tank are now connected for a single discharge. Now the black tank and the gray tank have a 26-gallon capacity. Now to feed into that capacity, we have 2 separated water tanks. One water tank is a 50-gallon general water tank, and that is going to run your sinks, it's going to run your toilet, it's going to run your shower. The other one, the separated tank, is your 16-gallon drinking water tank. That has a separate water pump that goes through a triple filtration system to help remove as many contaminants as it can before you drink it. So it's got a special water spigot on the faucet in your kitchen area. Now, you do not want to combine those tanks. I do have some people who do say, hey, well, can I combine the tanks? You don't want to do that. If you run out of your general water, so that means you can't take a shower, maybe you can't wash your hands, maybe you can't use the toilet, but you're not going to die from being dirty. You can die from dehydration. So always maintain that separation between your general water tank and your drinking water tank. So here I am at the back of the unit, and I wanted to take the time to point out this water tank right here, this water fill. And as you can see, it says black water tank. And so this is not one of your drinking water tanks. This is your fill tank, so you can flush out the black tank, your sewer tank. So you take off this cap and you take your sewer hose. Do not take your drinking water hose. Now when I mean drinking water, that would be the hose that you would plug into your city water connection to bypass your water pumps. Take the sewer hose. Usually you find them when you're out dumping at like the KOA or whatever sewer dump you go to. So here's what you can do. You pull this off, you take your hose, you set your hose in the fill tube. Don't walk away from it and just go, oh, we're good, let's fill the whole tank. You want to come over, you're going to let it fill, you're going to pull your valve so that way you dump out your black tank, close the valve, open and dump your gray tank, and allow this tank to fill up a little bit again, okay? Let it fill, not all the way. Remember, you have 26 gallons, which doesn't take too terribly long. Dump the valve, you do that several times till you have a clean tank, so you get everything flushed out. A lot of times you can buy clear connectors so that way you can see if your tank is clear or if you still have product coming out through the tube. But anyway, so this is our black water tank fill for when you are dumping your 26-gallon sewer tanks. And here we are underneath our Black Series HQ15. And like all of our Black Series models, here we have our independent suspension. This is what's allowing you to get into those off-road areas. We have our independent swing arms, dual shocks on each arm, heavy-duty coil springs, limiting chains. This is the material that's going to get you to those off-road boondocking adventures. This HQ15, this 2020 HQ15 has a dry weight of 5,368 pounds and can carry a gross vehicle weight of 7,500 pounds. So as we continue around, one thing I want to point out to you is the recovery hooks. These are about 9,000 pound rated recovery hooks. There's one on each side. So that way, if you get stuck in the mud, you can connect into this to pull out, or if there's somebody behind you and they're stuck in the mud, you can connect to this and connect to them, and you can also pull them out that way as well. Now, as we keep coming along here, you can see obviously our diamond plate. There's some vents right here. This is about where the batteries are. The batteries will be right here in the dinette seating. So these are the vents. okay? And then there's also another 12-volt plug that's out here. There we go, 12-volt plug, okay? As we come along, we have our outside shower. So with our outside shower, we have a shower head, we have a hot and cold faucets, so that would come out. You have an outside shower. That's like your typical standard one. Then we have our drinking water tank fill and our general water tank fill. So if you pull up to the same water source, you can fill up both of these tanks. So that way, it doesn't matter. Like I said, if you belly up to a stream, you can bring in your water source into here or here. This one is still gonna be your filtered water. So it's not gonna be an issue too much. As we're coming along, you have the vent. This is the vent for your heater. There's a 16,000 BTU heater, and this is gonna be your outside vent for it. Here's the cover for your water tank. You have a 6-gallon propane-powered hot water tank. So that way, as long as you're not taking super long showers, which again, you only got 50 gallons, so this is gonna give you plenty of water to take your showers, run your faucets, whatever. We have a 30-amp plug, okay? So if you're plugged into a shoreline, or if you're plugged into your generator, you're plugged into your shoreline cord, that's gonna plug into your 30-amp plug. And then one of the newest things for our 2020 models is our city water connection. Many of you asked for it, and now we have it. So now, if you do go to, say, an RV park, maybe you couldn't boondock, couldn't find an off-road area, whatever it may be, and you end up in a not a water park, an RV park, or a water park, who knows, you're gonna plug in the city water connection to this. And what it does is it will bypass your pump. Now, it will only bypass your general water tank and your general water pump. It will not bypass your drinking water. So your drinking water, you'll still be running your pump, you'll still be getting it from your tank. So keep that in mind, general water only. So again, general water is gonna be your shower, that's gonna be your toilet, that's gonna be your sinks, not your drinking water, okay? As we come along, this is the other side of our pass-through storage. So you can see it passes through the other side. We also have our breaker box for some of our larger, heavier, duty appliances for our ground fault current interrupter plugs, our water heater, or inverter input. So different things that are there. So we've covered the outside. Now let's get around, check out the door, and look at the inside. So we're over here at the door. Now, most doors have like a doorknob or some other kind of flip switch. Nobody has a door like us. So here, as we open up our door and we take a look, it's really nice. We have this nice heavy duty looking screen. Now to open up this screen, there's a flip lever right here. And so you lift this flip lever up and that opens it. And so there's a pin, as you can see here on the door. So it gets released from the pin. So I'm just gonna close this door. Just listen to the screen. You hear how solid that sounds? It sounds so much more solid. God, I love hearing that thing. So here's the thing. We have this nice aluminum protective security screen all the way down. So that adds to the rigidity of the screen itself. Now, here's the thing that sets us apart with our screens. Our screen, most screen doors, will latch right here in the middle. Perfect, right? The only problem is, what if you got someone or an animal, like a dog or whatever, and they're pushing on the top part of the screen? You can see the amount of play there, and if you have a small child, you can see the play here. Now, the nice part about a Black Series door is it has 3 points of contact when you lock it. So I'm gonna push this back in. I'm gonna close the screen. Now I'm going to set the lock. Now, how much movement do we have? We got just a little bit of play, but that's only because of where the lock is. But we're not being able to force this screen open. It is closed, and that is the nice part about that. Now, here's the thing with our doors. Our lock is on our screen. The lock is part of the door, or part of the screen. And as you can see the door over here, obviously there's no opening, and that's where obviously you would take this and you could prop this open. All right, I'm gonna set that in there. And so this could set open like that. So if you're out in boondocking area, there's nobody around, you feel relatively safe, you can even lock it open just like this for airflow if you wish. Or if you have it locked inside, you go, hey, you know what, let's go into town, you close your door, you're all done. Door's closed, door's locked, let's go into town, do what we're gonna do. So there you go, there you have it. There is the exterior to the Black Series HQ15. Hopefully I was able to answer all of your questions. If you have any questions, please make sure to write us an email at info@blackseriescamper.com. Excuse me, not info@blackseriescamper.com. Again, this is Jim Buck, Black Series Camper with the HQ15. Take care, everybody. Have a great day.
How you doing, everybody? This is Jim Buck with Black Series Campers of Southern California out of the City of Industry. And we hope that you enjoyed the last video of a series that we just got finished watching. And what we'd like to do is we'd like to ask to make sure that you please like and subscribe to our channel so that way you can see all of the videos that are coming up in our series. So make sure that you get out there, you smash that bell up in that corner up there. And again, this is Jim Buck with Black Series Camper. So we hope you enjoyed that video. Take care, everybody. Have a great day.